here we are at the Ghost Mountain Rabbitry with John. And your wife's off somewhere. She's doing taxes, isn't she?
Doing taxes.
Ooh, bless her heart. Now she has a big part of this.
Yes, she does.
Now, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this since about 6th or 7th grade. I won't tell you how many years ago
So
it is.
about 72 years.
Yeah, I've probably only missed about 4 or 5 years in that whole time of not having rabbits. So
No kidding.
been raising them a long, long time.
Now, you raise these for meat.
Pets, if people want them,
Right.
or whatever. That's the breed rabbit we have, are all meat brand.
What are they? What brand?
These are New Zealand's, like a New Zealand red on the bottom and a white, broken New Zealand,
Why New Zealand?
because they're the best meat rabbits. They grow the most efficiently, and they have the most sought after meat.
Here's what a lot of people would think is attractive, is this plate full of duty.
Yeah, all my trays, or all my cages are made with these trays so we can collect the droppings.
And again, like you said, it doesn't burn anything up. That's the one
Doesn't hurt a thing.
manure you can take right out and put them on. So let's talk about the whole process.
Okay.
First of all, you build your own cages, right?
I built my cages. You don't have to. There's a lot of places that you can purchase them. The main thing with a rabbit cage is to have a cage the size you need for whatever rabbit you got. I've got large rabbits, so we've got to have a generally large cage. Our cages are 30 by 24.
How often do they breed? Whenever you put them together.
Well, a rabbit will breed, you breed a rabbit, and in 30 days they're going to have babies. But
Right.
30 to 35 days. And then 21 days after they have babies, I breed them back. And the reason I do that is because they stay the healthiest when they're breeding and when they're lactating and having babies. If you let them go barren for a period of time, then they'll get unhealthy. They get sick really easy, and they're really hard to breed back. Well, you're probably going to get 5 litters a year at an average of 8 per litter. That's 40 a year, 40 babies.
Wow.
So if you multiply that by 5, it's about, 200.
So it's not a rumor about the rabbits being busy.
No, but there's a few things, you need to take into consideration and take care to be successful.
And what would those be for the...
Well, you have, for one thing, a proper cage in a proper environment. You've got to keep them out of the weather. Now, rabbits can withstand cold. They have a little more trouble in the summertime when it's really hot. So in the summertime, I'll have fans that go in here to keep it moving. And that's the most important thing, keep that. And you want to have a cage that the droppings can fall through so they aren't sitting in their waste all day long. I made the cages where I can just take them out of their frame real simply.
Right.
And that way I don't have to try to clean them inside here.
So your dimensions again are...
My dimensions, this is, it's 30 inches in width, and it's 24 inches wide this way, and then it's 18 inches high.
And you just crimp everything together
And I
here?
crimp everything together with little J-clips. Like I said, if you're just starting out, you're going to buy your cages.
Right.
It's a lot simpler and probably cheaper that way. But if you have several rabbits, it's a lot cheaper to build them yourself.
You've got a guy that is it seems like he's got all kinds of energy, and he's got a girlfriend down here.
Yeah.
How does that work? You just put them in the same cage?
Well, you
together?
always take the doe to the buck.
Oh, no kidding.
And you don't ever leave them together for a period of time. They're going to do their due in just a few seconds.
Gotcha.
And if they don't, then she's not ready, and take her away. Because if you leave them in there, the doe will castrate the buck after a period of time. So,
Wow.
yeah, so you want to,
That's just hateful.
yeah, pretty much.
All right, well, hey, are you going to do it?
You want?
Yeah.
All right, we can try one. All right, this doe has babies. They're 3 weeks old, so it should be about time for her to breed back. And when you grab a rabbit, you want to hold them by the scruff of the neck and then tuck them underneath your arm so that they don't scratch you. Hold their
Boy, they
rear
can
end.
scratch you, can't they? Says, hey, what's up?
Well, usually I'll leave them in there so he'll breed her twice. Now, the act of copulation is actually what stimulates the doe to ovulate and to release the eggs now. And it's very important for people that are just getting started that if you're watching them, he doesn't breed her unless he falls off.
Right.
If he doesn't fall off, then he didn't breed her.
All right, now you have in your hand a nest box. Now this is a very necessary part of the whole process, is it not?
Yes. We've bred that doe.
Mm-hmm.
So now in 28 days, we're going to put this nest box in.
Right.
Now you don't want to put it in too early because then all she'll do is get in it and make a mess in it.
Yeah.
So 28 days is about right. And I put pine shavings in it. I don't usually use hay because pine shavings seem to absorb better and do better. Besides, 90% of the time, the doe's going to take most of that out, and she's going to replace it with her fur.
So she actually pulls her own hair out.
She'll pull all her fur, and she'll pull, from her front, she'll almost be bald when she gets done.
Tell us some secrets, some things that you've learned over the years that may save somebody a lot of trouble if they decide to go this route.
The key to rabbits is good feed. They have to have good food.
What do you feed them?
And I feed them an 18% rabbit pellet. And if you just have them as a pet, you can buy 16% and you're great. But if you're breeding them and showing them and things like that, you want 18%. That's the first thing. Good feed, plenty of water, fresh water all the time. We get those bottles, they stay clean. You know, some people have self-waterers and things, but you still have to check them every day. You know, you want a feeder that the feed goes into. I have mine on the outside of the cage for ease of feeding, and that it's got a grate in the bottom, like a screen, so that any trash or fines will go through that and it won't get in their lungs, and then you won't have problems with it.
Gotcha.
So that's key.
Let's talk about the health benefits of rabbit.
Yeah, if you look rabbits up on USDA site or whatever, they say that rabbit meat is higher in protein and lower in cholesterol than any farm-raised meat.
Wow.
It's also the only meat that your body can 100% digest. Domestic rabbits are all white meat. You know, we process these rabbits when they're 8 weeks old. A New Zealand white, their rabbits at 8 weeks old are going to be 4 pounds.
Right.
And that's going to approximately, be 2.5 pounds of meat.
And can you, if you will, and we're not going to show the actual death blow, but that is actually they're pretty tender animals.
Yeah.
How do you dispatch them?
You just stun them a little bit, remove their head, and then skin them out and
So
clean
a
'em.
big whack with a stick, basically.
Basically.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a lot of people that come up here and they want rabbits for meat, but yet they don't want to kill them. So they'll buy a rabbit and they'll ask me to process it for them, which I will do.
Right. I came out to get a rabbit today. Let's step through the whole butchering process.
All right.
Being in the business that I'm in, I've taken a lot of critters apart for food. This is probably one of the easiest, wouldn't you say?
Relatively simple, especially at this age.
Show us how it's done.
Got him hanging upside down by his feet. And I'm going to wet him down just so the hair doesn't stick to the meat too bad when I get done. Key, you want a good sharp knife. And then just go around where the joint is here. Make a little cut, kind of go all the way around the leg. Now they're pretty young and tender, so it'll just pull right down. You just grab hold and pull it down. You do the same thing to the other side. Now that I've got the rear leg skinned out, I can put my finger all the way through it under the hide. And you can pull back a little bit and come up with your knife, and that's going to take the tail and everything off. And then all you have to do is
pull his jacket off. Now, do you save the organs? I know a lot of people like to eat the organs out of rabbits.
We usually will save the livers, fry them, however you like liver. But I always take the breastbone out where the ribs attach, just because you don't eat it.
Yeah.
There's nothing on it. And at that point, I'll just take right up there at that joint and use my pruning shears and just cut it.
Boom.
Put them in here with cold ice water. I will always freeze my rabbits because they say, and I found that to be true, is after you sit them and then freeze them, they're more tender after you thaw them out and eat them.
I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day and for being a good neighbor. And we'll see you. I got ash trees down. You and me are going to be cutting some ash trees.
Okay, yeah, we can.
Work out some more trade stuff.
We need to do that.